This isn't leadership, it's psychological warfare. And right now, 73% of you are trapped in a toxic leader's web without even knowing it. What I'm about to show you will completely change how you see every boss, mentor, and authority figure in your life. Every day, you're giving your loyalty to people who are secretly exploiting your deepest psychological needs. By the end of this video, you'll stop being manipulated by toxic leaders. You'll start recognizing the red flags instantly. You'll become psychologically untouchable. But I'm warning you, once you learn these patterns, your relationships will never be the same. And you might realize someone you trust is using these exact tactics on you right now. I've broken this down into 3 parts. Part 1. The 7 dark patterns toxic leaders use to hijack your brain. Part 2. Why good people become their most loyal victims. Part 3. The immunity protocol that makes you manipulation-proof. By the end, you'll have a complete psychological defense system that protects you from even the most skilled manipulators. Let me tell you about Jennifer. She was the perfect employee, smart, dedicated, ambitious. Then she met her new boss, Marcus. Within 2 weeks, he'd promoted her, praised her in meetings, told her she was the future of the company. She felt special, chosen. 6 months later, she was working 80-hour weeks, sacrificing her health and defending Marcus even when he publicly humiliated other employees. What happened? She fell victim to pattern number 1, the love bomb protocol. Toxic leaders know that humans have a deep need for recognition. They exploit this by giving you excessive early praise that makes you feel extraordinary. They elevate you publicly, creating social proof of your specialness. They share secrets with you to create false intimacy. But here's where it gets interesting. This actually triggers the same neural pathways as romantic love. Your brain literally becomes addicted to their approval. And just like any addiction, you'll do anything to get your next fix. Ask yourself right now, does your leader's praise feel more like a drug than genuine recognition? If yes, you're being love-bombed. But love-bombing is just the setup. Pattern number 2 is where the real damage begins. The isolation engine. Remember Jennifer? Once Marcus had her loyalty, he started saying things like, "The other departments don't understand our vision," and "They're jealous of your success," and "I'm the only one who truly sees your potential." This works because of something called cognitive dissonance reduction. When a trusted figure tells you others are against you, your brain has 2 choices. Question the person you trust, or believe everyone else is wrong. Guess which one your brain chooses? What nobody tells you is that isolation doesn't feel like isolation. It feels like being part of an elite inner circle. It feels like finally belonging somewhere special. Have you ever noticed how cults and toxic workplaces use the exact same language? We're different. They don't get it. We're the chosen ones. If you're thinking about someone specific right now, drop a comment. I read every single one, and your story might save someone else. This next part will blow your mind. Pattern number 3, the gaslight matrix. Toxic leaders don't just lie, they architect entire alternate realities. David worked for a nonprofit. His boss, Linda, would give verbal instructions, then deny them in writing. She'd change project goals midstream, then blame the team for misunderstanding. She'd rewrite history in meetings saying, "I never said that." But here's the genius part. She documented everything, selectively. MIT researchers found that when authority figures contradict our memory, our brains actually rewrite our memories to match their version. The real power comes when you realize they're not trying to win arguments. They're training you to doubt your own perception of reality. Think about it. How many times have you thought, maybe I did misunderstand, when deep down you knew you were right? If those doubts all involve the same person, you're in the matrix. But wait, it gets darker. Think back to when you first felt truly valued by a leader. That warmth, that sense of purpose. Now let me show you how toxic leaders weaponize that feeling with pattern number 4, the savior complex. They create problems only they can solve. First, they manufacture a crisis. The company is in trouble. Then they position themselves as the hero. But together, we can save it. Finally, they demand sacrifice. It'll take everything we've got. You know that moment when you're exhausted but push through because the team needs you. That's not dedication. That's manipulation. Psychologists call this induced dependency. Studies show 67% of burned-out employees report having a boss who positioned themselves as the only source of career salvation. And here's what's really messed up. Even when you sacrifice everything, it's never enough. Welcome to pattern number 5, the moving goalpost. Monday, they say hit these numbers. Friday, the numbers aren't enough. Now you need quality. Next week, quality is good, but where's the innovation? If you've ever felt like you're running on a treadmill that keeps getting faster, you've experienced this. The dark psychology here, it's called intermittent reinforcement, the most addictive reward schedule known to behavioral science. Casinos use it, social media uses it, and toxic leaders are masters at it. They give you just enough wins to keep you hooked, but never enough to feel secure. You're always one project away from finally proving yourself, one deadline away from earning their full approval. But that moment never comes, does it? If this is hitting home, hit that like button. Not for me. Do it as a promise to yourself that you won't fall for this anymore. Now I need to share something that might make you uncomfortable. Some of you watching are thinking, I could use these techniques. Here's what they don't want you to know. Every toxic leader started as a victim of another toxic leader. They learned these patterns through pain, then inflicted them on others. The trauma bonding cycle, pattern number 6, is the most dangerous because it feels like strength. They create intense shared experiences. They alternate between praise and criticism. They make you feel like you're growing through adversity. You end up thanking them for the abuse. Michael's boss used to scream at the team, then take them out for expensive dinners. He'd push them to mental breakdowns, then give passionate speeches about how they were becoming warriors. The team thought they were in an elite boot camp. They were actually in an abusive relationship. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever caught yourself using these tactics, even accidentally? The line between influence and manipulation is thinner than you think. And the final pattern, pattern number 7, is the one that traps even the smartest people, the false exit. They make leaving feel impossible, not through threats, but through manufactured dependence. No one else will understand your potential like I do. You'll never find another opportunity like this. After everything I've done for you, they've spent months or years making you believe that your success is tied to them, that without them, you're nothing. But here's the truth bomb. The most successful people I know all have one thing in common. They left toxic leaders, and every single one says the same thing. I should have left sooner. Now for the immunity protocol. Here are 5 techniques to become manipulation-proof. First, the reality anchor. Keep a private journal of all interactions. Document promises, instructions, and feedback. Review weekly to spot pattern changes. Your memory is your first line of defense. Second, the triangle test. Every major decision needs 3 perspectives: your view, the leader's view, and an outsider's view. If they discourage outside input, that's your red flag. Third, the energy audit. Track your energy before and after interactions. Consistent energy drain equals toxic dynamic. Your body knows before your mind does. Trust your body's warning system. Fourth, the boundary blueprint. Write down your non-negotiables. Share them explicitly. Watch how they respond to boundaries. Toxic leaders hate boundaries like vampires hate sunlight. Fifth, the exit interview. Mentally practice leaving regularly. If the thought terrifies you, you're too dependent. Healthy relationships don't fear endings. Start with just one technique. The energy audit takes 30 seconds after each meeting. Within 2 weeks, patterns become undeniable. But here's what's crucial. Knowing these patterns gives you power. But power without wisdom creates new monsters. You're not like most people who ignore red flags until it's too late. You now have the tools to protect yourself and others. The goal isn't to become untrusting or cynical. It's to become unmanipulatable while staying open to genuine connection. Real leaders build you up without tearing others down. They celebrate your growth even if it means you outgrow them. They give you roots and wings, not chains disguised as opportunities. Now that you understand these patterns, you're ready to build relationships based on real respect, not psychological manipulation. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs protection from a toxic leader. Your share might be the sign they've been waiting for. Drop a comment with which pattern surprised you most. I personally read everything, and your story might help someone else escape. Like this video if you're ready to level up your psychological defense system, and subscribe with notifications on, because next week I'm revealing the 7 types of people toxic leaders fear most. But before you go, remember this. Every toxic leader relies on your silence, your loyalty, your fear of rocking the boat. But now you know their playbook. You see the strings. You understand the game. You're not just protecting yourself. You're breaking the cycle. You're becoming the leader you wished you had. The moment you start using these defense techniques, you'll notice something amazing. The toxic leaders in your life will either change their behavior or reveal their true nature. Either way, you win. Some of you are at a crossroads right now. You're thinking about that person, that situation, that choice you've been avoiding. This is your sign. This is your moment. This is where everything changes. Stay psychologically sovereign. I'll see you in the next one.